education, so the NEA, and the convention thing I had when I got in trouble um, in the Little Rock school system. I was teaching and I was state president of the Black Teachers Association. And the chairman of the superintendent of schools and the chairman of the board talked about black teachers being inferior. And I told them I thought they needed to retract it. And that's how I wound up leaving the system.
Now, we talk about charter schools. If it wasn't for the union that you were in
Mm-hmm.
during that time to be able to speak your voice,
Mm-hmm.
they can't do that now
Yeah, yeah,
because they're trying to break the union up with the charter schools.
yeah.
So how do teachers have a voice?
This was in 1965. I want you to read this letter. This is a letter that I sent to the president of the school board in Little Rock in 1965. What did it say?
My dear Mr. Madsen, the Little Rock Classroom Teachers Association is deeply aggrieved because of the statement released to the press on January 6, 1965 relative to the alleged inferiority of the Negro teacher in the Little Rock public school system. We have never been apprised of the fact that you and the board which you represent consider your Negro teaching personnel inferior. We believe you are just a man. I would like to correct the impression that it has been given our community that degree granted by reputable colleges and universities vary in validity. The association eager awaits your reply. Respectfully yours, Little Rock Classroom Teachers Association, William L. Walker, President. This is January 7th, 1960. This is 50 years ago.
I tell you, that's what I was doing 50 years ago. And this is the superintendent and the other members of the board. I sent him to all of them. And then here's another one to Russell Matson.
January 10th.
Yeah, yeah. This is some folks who wrote in support of us.
Okay.
Well,
Well, it is unfair to assume that testimony from the witness stand in the court case against the school board is to be taken as a fair measurement of the board's total thinking. It seems to us that much harm has been done to the Little Rock school system, to the Negro teachers themselves, and to their colleges by colleagues.
I know colleges.
It says colleges by the court statement last week regarding the Negro teachers' deficiencies. It is not the accuracy of these statements, but their effect, if left unexplained, of the public and teachers that concerned us. The board and the PTA have the same goal, the best education for all our children. We know, as you do, that segregation has created a deep cultural gap between Negroes and whites that cannot be bridged overnight. But the very seriousness of this gap underlines the need for better educational opportunities to overcome the needless handicap of two unequal educational systems. If Negro teachers are inferior, it is quite plainly the result of a lack of opportunities to overcome educational handicap. If they are inferior, this is the most pressing argument for early and complete integration of the system that continues to breed this inferiority. Otherwise, we are not being fair to one group of the Little Rock children, some of whom hopefully will be teachers themselves in a few years. We will welcome an opportunity to discuss this further with you. School Board, Frank Gordon, Clubs,
Peyton Call, Fred Smuts,
Cecil
Kelly. and Patrick Murphy. And all of them are white folks. Well, then here's the newspaper stuff. The trial remark. This was on the front page of the Gazette.
1965, January the 12th. William Walker, president of the Negro Classroom Teacher Association of Little Rock, protested Monday against testimony that Negro teachers are inferior to white teachers. Walker, an English teacher and counselor at Horseman High School, and the association wrote a letter to protest to Russell Madden, school board president, after Madden made a statement in testimony last week in federal district court. Madden said he thought white teachers were superior in ability on the average when asked why teaching staff in Little Rock schools were not integrated. The testimony came during the desegregation suit. Walker said the association had not been apprised of the fact that the board considered Negro teachers inferior and was not happy about Manson's statement. We feel that actually there is no justification for it, Walker said. They have come up with no facts, but just cited approximate submissals. And what is that word? Axiom?
Yeah.
They have said they suspect this, but said nothing definite. Superintendent Floyd Parsons testified later, said about the same thing as Madsen in more detail. Walker is president of the Classroom Teachers Association of Arkansas, parent organization of the Little Rock Group. Both are affiliated with the Arkansas Negro Teachers Association. Walker and Pearson had addressed the Classroom Teachers Group many times, but never prevailed his feelings on the matter. Walker said he did not know whether the statements were designed to continue segregation of teachers. As a teacher, I feel that if I am not qualified to teach white persons, I am not qualified to teach Negro persons, Walker said. As a teacher, if I am inferior, I should not be allowed to teach, period. Also, who in the world hires Negro teachers? Walker asked, who is responsible for these Negro teachers being in the system? Walker, who said he now was talking personally and not as the association official, said he wondered if whether Madsen or Patterson had stopped to think what their statement was due to the attitudes of Negro children and their parents. I wonder how the children would feel when they come to class every day and know their teachers are inferior because the superintendent say they are inferior, Walker said. We realize we are not in position to become involved in a running feud with the board and our superintendent. Walker said, we realize they are our bosses. But on the other hand, I think it is highly unethical for the superintendent to evaluate our segment of teaching personnel and not evaluate the others. Parsons said he has left the stand. He would be hesitant to evaluate the white teachers. Walker wondered if persons thought some pressure might come from white teachers that would not come from Negro teachers.
Anyway, I was having fun then in those
It's
days.
almost like saying,
But these are some of the letters folks wrote me while I was involved with this stuff. Now this is a letter that I got from Dear Sonny. You are receiving this letter at the station instead of your home because I'd like to kill two birds with one stone. You ought to be commended on your statement to the press concerning our teachers. Your comments are very well stated. I certainly enjoy your morning program. I was a DJ too on the radio, and that's what she's saying. I enjoy your morning program. It's conducted in a most scrupulous manner, and if I didn't think I knew you better, I would be inclined to believe that you may have missed your calling, smile. This letter is really meant to offer my assistance. If you should find yourself in need of someone to do clerical work, just let me know. I'm available anytime after my regular working hours and on weekends. Clarice Jacks.
This is 50 years ago.
Yes, sir. And there's another, Western Union, to William Walker, 24 in Malmont, St. Horace Mann Senior High School, Little Rock. Congratulations on your courageous stand you took. We completely agree. The Lincoln Elementary School staff, Nexton P. Marshall, principal.
If you didn't stand up, where would we be today?
I have no idea. This is, I was married then. My wife wrote me a letter and lifted my spirits. I had some great times going. Walker blast schoolmen in school fight. They put me in the paper and they came after my ass. W.L. Walker is appointed DCT advisor. 50 years ago.
It's almost like saying, now you don't, vote will name leader and poverty fight here.
Yeah, well, you had the folks to actually participate in naming their leaders, and we had them to vote on them. And then here's that EOA assistant director defends himself. That's when I was the deputy director of the agency in Arkansas, in Little Rock.